What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Third Wave Trades. Today's video, we're going to be going over briefly Bitcoin, and then I'm going to give you guys an update on Mara and some of the other mining stocks, which I think has the potential to push a lot higher, obviously given what Bitcoin does, right? So Bitcoin so far is like it's rebounding, it's going um, back up to 100K. It looks like it's right now it's sitting at 98,000 after going as low as like 90,000, right? So it's rebounding right now. We're gonna see how it plays out in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, as long as Bitcoin goes higher, then the stocks like Mara, Riot, Hut, Clean Spark, MicroStrategy, those all have the potential to move a lot higher too. So I'm gonna tell you which ones I think are my favorite between those. Obviously, I told you guys about Mara a week or two ago, so we're gonna get into that update. But there's another stock that might actually be better than Mara in my opinion. So we'll talk about all of that. All right. So first things first, guys. Quick disclaimer: this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence and research, and/or consult with a financial advisor before making any trading or investment decisions. Secondly, guys, if you could please do me a huge favor, hit that like button down below. If you guys are enjoying the content, subscribe. If you guys are new here, hit the bell notification icon and all that. Also, as you guys saw, the Discord is now up, um, and we're just getting started. So now is a great time to join. You guys are gonna get daily trade alerts, entries and exits. You're gonna get analysis like this. You guys are gonna get educational content on how to do everything from basic technical analysis if you're a beginner to more advanced concepts like Elliott wave, Wyckoff, stage analysis, and a lot more. And then obviously you guys will be joining a community of traders. Everybody will be able to have their own input and have good discussion with everybody. So really, really looking forward to growing this community. So if you guys are interested in it, I will put the link below. You can really just find me at wap.com/thirdwavetrades. Right now there is a 2-week free trial. Come and check it out. If it's for you guys, awesome. If not, you guys can cancel at any time during the trial and you won't be charged. So all right, with all that being said, let's get straight into the video because this might be a little bit of a longer video. There's a lot to go through. So first thing over here, what I have pulled up is Bitcoin, and I have my wave count on it as I see it as of right now. So going all the way back to the beginning, you guys can see we had this first wave move over here, which took us to about, what was it, 69,000, right? And then we had that long correction in 22 and 2023, and then we kind of have been climbing ever since, right? So the way that I have it right now is that we are in a nestled 1-2-1-2 situation. The count could be slightly different, right? Let me just zoom in here a little bit. Right, so right now I have the count sort of something like this, right? So you got 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? This nestled 1-2 situation, 3 4 3 4 3, and this could be another fourth wave playing out, and then we'll get that last fifth wave to take us higher, roughly to I think like around 130,000 on the low end, and I'll show you guys the fib levels in a second. Alternatively, I guess the least bullish scenario would be that this is 5 waves that just played out as 1 2 3 4. This is the fifth, and we could be topping soon, and then we'll have this like long correction, right? So kind of just have to wait and see. Right now, on this weekly chart, you guys can see we're above that 30-week moving average, which is that yellow line I have over there. And I personally think that we are going to push higher. If we go back and take a look at the first wave, right, the larger degree first wave, and we do our fib levels on it, this is a rough estimation. You guys can see we haven't really quite hit that 1.618 extension yet, right, which is kind of a minimum that we would expect for a first wave. So that would take us to around 130,000, right? So that's why I'm saying I think we could make that push higher. And honestly, a third wave could go a lot more extended. You would get that 2.618%, which would take us to 200K. And in some cases, obviously something, if it's really bullish, you could get that really, really extended third wave, which could take us to that 4.236 level, which would see us hit 300K, right? That's not outside of the realm of possibility, right? So, kind of just have to see how this plays out. Right now, uh, I'm more so leaning towards the fact that this is, you know, this would be my price target, right? Just err on the side of caution that we could hit this 1.618 level. And again, that could be in the case of this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we just finish up here. Or, like I said, this could be that nestled 1, 2, 1, 2 situation. So we'll just see. But I do think there is more upside for Bitcoin coming in the coming months before we fall off. But we'll just have to wait and see. All right. So um, now, like obviously, if Bitcoin is running, then that means all the mining stocks should be running as well, right? They'll get that boost from Bitcoin. Stocks like Mara and Riot. So Mara was one that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and just as a quick recap, I'll remind you guys that we were, well, um, all right, so we were basically looking at this situation over here where we were coming back to that 30-week moving average, and I said I was looking for a meaningful reaction there. We didn't get it the first week. We actually broke below, and we closed below on the weekly time frame, below that 30-week moving average. But what happened this past week is you guys can see this nice strong bounce that we got, right? Um, and that's kind of what I was hoping for, to see a move like this, right? Like that hammer candle above the 30-week moving average. But again, Mara is a stock that is pretty heavily shorted, so it doesn't surprise me. But so it's still not dead in my eyes yet, right? Because um, ideally, if you were going short, then you would see, okay, this would look good that you closed below it, but you would want confirmation, right? And a follow-up candle to close below it as well. So there's no confirmation on the downside, in my opinion. Instead, we got this very bullish reaction, and you guys can see that the volume picked up on the bounce, whereas volume was declining as we were moving down, right? So I think that Mara could still push higher, right? And I did say that if we did break below that 30-week moving average, I would want to analyze it from a Wyckoff schematic. So let's take a look at this. Let's go to a closer time frame. Let's go to a 4-hour time frame, and from a Wyckoff perspective, I do think that move lower was more so a last point of support for us, right? So you guys can see like this correction, or this in Elliott terms, or accumulation in Wyckoff terms, is basically playing out. Now we don't know yet, right, whether or not this is an accumulation, a reaccumulation, or a distribution. So we're gonna have to see how it reacts to either extreme of this channel. Right now, it's kind of sitting in the middle, but I would look for, if I wanted to go long, I would wait probably now to see on the weekly time frame to get a strong close, roughly around that $25 area, or on a closer time frame. If you're looking at it from the Wyckoff perspective, you probably want to give it a little bit more time and see if we can get to the top of this channel over here, form this sign of strength, consolidate around here, and then once we would break above that consolidation, obviously with the volume picking up, that would be my sign and my signal to get in and go long, right? This would be a long-term swing play, because then again, I think we would be in a third wave move with Mara. So let me just quickly remind you guys about the wave count. All right, so there's a couple different possibilities on what the wave count could be. Let me go back to the weekly. Right, so right, so the wave count could be something like this, right? Again, we had our first wave. So we had our first wave up here, second wave, and now This could be a 1-2 over here, and we're looking for this third wave move, right? Fourth, fifth. Alternatively, we could be in a situation like this where we only did, again, 1, 2, 3. This could be the fourth wave. The sideways aspect of it kind of makes me think it could be, right? And this ends up becoming a leading diagonal, right? So we're looking for the fifth wave, then we get that second wave pullback, and then we go higher. And another scenario, which I think would be the most bullish scenario, would be if that this whole thing was nested 1-2, right? So you have 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you're gonna get this really strong third wave, right? So we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. But again, I wouldn't really play this for the short term until I get that confirmation that we break out of this this channel, right? Either one way or the other, right? We could break lower, and then this would have been a distribution. If we break higher, then obviously this was a reaccumulation. So I'm waiting to see how we react now by the end of this week. Again, don't get into something like this prematurely, especially something like Mara, which is pretty heavily shorted. Quick scalps and day trades, totally fine, but me personally, I'm looking for a long position on this once I get the signal to go long, which would be the break out of that accumulation channel, right? And the reason why I do still believe that Mara is going to make a big move to the upside is that if you look at some of its peers, right? So if we take a look at Riot, very similar, right? This is the wave count that I have for it. Same thing, 1, 2, and then you guys can count. We had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like a much cleaner wave count to me. A, B, C, and if we take a look at what Riot did, how it reacted to its 30-week moving average, it literally got the bounce on the 30-week moving average. So that to me is a much stronger signal. Obviously, I don't think Riot is. I actually have to double check. I'm not sure about that. If Riot is as heavily shorted as Mara is, but basically this was the type of bounce that I was looking for on Mara. We got it on Riot. So if Riot ends up making the move, then I can go with Riot. It's a cheaper alternative to Mara, and if Bitcoin runs, Riot is going to run as well, right? So that's another option for you guys. So keep an eye on that. Same thing if we take a look at it from the Wyckoff perspective, right? Again, we had our spring move right here, right? And it looks like this is our last point of support, looking for a sign of strength at the top of this channel, consolidate, break out in phase E. From a stage analysis perspective, right, this whole move down here would have been our stage 1, and you guys can see we broke out. If I take a look at the Mansfield Relative Strength Index, right, so we don't really have the signal yet on the Mansfield Relative Strength Index, right? So we don't really have a strong break above that 0 line. I would wait for confirmation in that regard, but the volume does look pretty good. The volume looks pretty good over here, as you guys can see. After we hit those lows, volume has been picking up as we've been making this move higher. So I'm really a fan of Riot's chart. It looks really good to me, and I think that this could be the beginning of that stage 2 breakout. You guys can see the flag pattern right here, right? That third wave move, that phase E and Wyckoff, all that stuff, right? All the confluence factors are there from all those different types of strategies in technical analysis. So Riot looks like something that can be a good play, right? Again, as a swing play for the next 6 to 12 months. We have CleanSpark as well. I'm not a huge fan of this of their chart, but it's no different than Mara if you really think about it, right? Because you can see over here we broke below the 30-week moving average, but we still got that bounce over here. I haven't checked them, but I believe that they might be pretty heavily shorted as well. But similar type of move, right? In terms of a 1-2, 1-2 setup in the wave count, so we could be getting a third wave move here as well. But so far, it's the weakest of the three, in my opinion. I would want to see it break out of this channel. Um, right, you guys can see again the bull flag setup over here, right? So all of these stocks do present opportunities. You just have to be patient and wait for the right one. One of actually the strongest ones, I think, in my opinion, is Hut. Hut looks like it's a little bit ahead of the curve right now. If we take a look at, uh, you know, their chart, again, you guys see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the first wave, the second wave, very similar. This looks like it could be a leading diagonal, right? This looks like a three-wave move. So 3 waves for 1, 3 waves for 2, 3 waves for 3, maybe 3 waves for 4 on that 30-week moving average, and then push higher. But the fact that from a stage analysis perspective, we have, we're way above our 30-week moving average, and you guys can see that we did this with really strong volume, and on the Mansfield Relative Strength Index, I believe we are above, way above that zero line, right? So this checks off everything for me. So I honestly, so far from reviewing all of them, I think Hut might be the best opportunity, right? You want to see this 30-week moving average keep curling up. You guys can see, as long as we hold above this, I think we're going to get one of these strong rallies over here. And I would not be surprised if this thing pushed to $50, $60 in the coming months. So I was actually surprised. I haven't really been watching, keeping an eye on Hut that much. But when I was doing the analysis, so far it looks stronger than Mara and Riot to me. Or at least not stronger, but just ahead of those two in where it is in its stage analysis and wave count. Another one is there's Hive. Again, it doesn't look all that great compared to Hut, but it's no different than Mara and Riot. You guys can see the accumulation channel right here. Again, we're just waiting for the break above this accumulation channel if we wanted to go long and play this. And then there's MicroStrategy, which again, in my opinion, is going to be really good for short-term trades. I wouldn't play a long play on this necessarily, because it looks like it's well, actually I don't want to say that, right? From a wave count, it looks like this could be, right, a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this could also just be a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, and we could get a really strong move to the upside. It's above its 30-week moving average. As long as that's the case, I'm bullish on it. If this ends up kind of going sideways for the next few months, then we have to really keep an eye on it to see, again, is it going to be in a reaccumulation and we break out and go higher, or is it sort of a stage 3 and we're going to get that stage 4 move to the downside, right? So here's our stage 1, broke out, stage 2, and we could either still be in the stage 2 and push higher, or we will start going sideways for a little bit and make that stage 3 distribution channel before we break down, right? But definitely a strong move. It's made a very strong rally for the past year or so, and it still doesn't look like it's done yet, right? Like, look at the volume. Volume is really picking up, so no indication that it's going to slow down yet. I would be I just think that in terms of risk, not risk to reward, but there's cheaper options out there that I would basically be trying to take advantage of. Again, this I will trade short term, day trades, weekly options, and things like that. But I think I would probably prefer to load up heavy on one of those other stocks like Hut or Riot, if we get that breakout. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I left out. I think those are all the stocks that I really wanted to cover in this video. There are some other stocks and videos I will be making soon, but for this video, I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys got any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new here, and if you guys are interested, again, check out the Discord, wap.com/thirdwavetrades. Love to have you right now, 2-week free trial, and you guys can cancel at any time, no charge, if you guys decide it's not for you, right? So that's all I got for this video. I will be back with more. Peace.